My amplified unit. How you guys doing, huh? Be honest with me. Don't bullshit me. How are you guys doing? I mean it. I know a lot of you been stuck inside, 10, 11 days already? At least? Here in the States, anyway. And unfortunately, doesn't look like there's any end in sight in the near future. Looks like several more weeks at least of this. So I know a lot of you guys have been kind of stuck inside. Maybe once or twice out of the day you'll do a quick walk around the block. I know, man. Unbelievable times we're living in right now. It's honestly, when you stop and think about it, it's almost unrealistic. It's straight out of a movie. But this is the life that we are all waking up to, you know? So we're making the best of it. I really do feel that we're here for one another. I'm not just talking you guys and me, but just the world in general, even outside the wrestling community. I believe there's more good out there than bad, and that's never more evident than what I am viewing, witnessing, hearing about, and seeing with my own eyes. So that's really cool. And I think if we still continue from here on out to bond together and make those right decisions more often than we make wrong, we're going to get out of this pretty soon, you know, not soon enough, but pretty soon. But I know you guys are having a rough time. Yours truly, you know, everything that I was doing personally and professionally has been altered. And I know you guys are in the same boat, so I'm not going to sit here and bitch and complain about it. But man, you talk about trying times. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that I was checking in with you guys. And I know you guys are doing the same with the Amplified Man just watching this vid. So I appreciate it. And that's what I meant when I said we're in this together, man. This is what it is. There might not be an abundance of news in the pro wrestling world, but I'm still going to check in with you guys, and we're still going to spend at least the next 20 minutes talking some pro wrestling. Hopefully get your mind and my mind off of the adversity that we are going through right now. And before I talk about the main story that I wanted to dish out to you guys, which is Triple H talking about Roman Reigns and that whole situation, and now we finally have some confirmation, right? I mean, we heard the news break, and it was pretty reputable. I mean, every top source and every top outlet that covers pro wrestling, I mean, everybody was talking like this was real, man. Roman Reigns is out of WrestleMania. Whether he walked out on his own accord or whether he was booted, whether they think he had something, whether it's just as a precaution because of what he's already battled in his life. Whatever the reason, that's what we were hearing. And then you watch Friday Night SmackDown, and it was business as usual. They were not just talking about Roman versus Goldberg for the championship at WrestleMania, but that was their biggest talking point. They were selling that match more than ever before. This past Friday, after news broke that Roman was out of the match. After news broke that Braun Strowman was going to be replacing him against Bill Goldberg. WrestleMania 36 at the PC. So everybody was confused. Wait, was this just Vince McMahon throwing everyone a swerve? Leaking out a false story that Roman is out and here they are building to it still? No, guys. That was because they already filmed a segment with Goldberg and Roman Reigns for SmackDown this upcoming Friday. So they would have had to cancel out so much content if they had said that Roman was out. So my guess is they're going to do the whole Roman out angle this Friday night on SmackDown. But it's because they already had content filmed, so they're going to continue to promote that match. Triple H pretty much confirmed the original story, that Roman is out. So everything that WWE is doing right now to keep building, that's just to get people to try to tune into the network. Another match, in Vince McMahon's eyes, a big-time match. Roman and Bill Goldberg. Spear versus spear. And in Vince's eyes, that makes a world of difference. I know that for many of us, it doesn't make a difference. Braun Strowman versus Bill Goldberg. Roman Reigns versus Bill Goldberg. Who gives a damn? The title should have been on Bray Wyatt. John Cena should have been going for his 17th title victory and breaking Ric Flair's record. Not saying he should do it at WrestleMania, but that should have been the storyline. And you should have kept bumping up Bray Wyatt as the most dominant character in pro wrestling because the character of The Fiend was the hottest character that we've seen in years. Instead, they tried everything, and they succeeded in large part to derail Bray Wyatt and The Fiend's momentum. And now all of a sudden the title is on a 53-year-old dude in Bill Goldberg. We're going to get a 2.5-minute match tops with Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm going on a little bit of a side spiel. Triple H pretty much confirms the whole Roman situation in his interview with ESPN. We're going to go over his exact quote, and within that quote, he also talks about if Roman would be in the doghouse or not, or at least he gives a little bit of an inkling as to if Roman would be in the doghouse or not. I pick up on these little details in these quotes, and we're going to discuss in just a couple minutes. First, I just want to go over Raw's preview for tonight. If I'm a betting man, if you're not going to watch tonight, I don't blame you, and you probably don't have to. It's probably going to go something like this. Becky Lynch will start off with a little weirdo promo. Then we'll go into a replay of the 2015 Royal Rumble, the men's match. Why not? That's Vince McMahon's favorite. 2015 is when Roman Reigns won it all. So we'll replay the entire 2015 Royal Rumble, which has nothing to do with WrestleMania. But that's what we've been seeing the last couple weeks. Then we'll have a Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar 5-minute promo in the middle of the ring, talking about a whole bunch of nonsense, and we're going to do this and that to Drew McIntyre. Okay. And then we'll go into a replay of last week's replay of Charlotte versus Asuka, WrestleMania 34, when Charlotte defeated Asuka and ended Asuka's streak. BC, they just replayed that last week. Yeah, don't be surprised if you get the replay of the replay this week. Because Vince really wants to show you that Charlotte's way more superior than Asuka. But then again, so is Alexa Bliss and fucking Carmella, and at this point, Dana Brooke. Everybody's more superior than Asuka. If you're the old man in Stanford. Then we'll have an actual Charlotte promo, just to give her some more TV time. And then we'll end, right? The main event tonight will be a replay of Diesel versus Psycho Sid from the first ever In Your House pay-per-view, May 1995. Nothing to do with WrestleMania 36, nothing to do with the year 2020, but fuck it. Diesel versus Psycho Sid from In Your House. I bet you a lot of you guys don't even know what In Your House even is, do you? It was a pay-per-view back in the late 90s, and here's a little tidbit for you. It was actually only $14.99 when it came out. I think it was $14.95 actually. This is no joke. You can Wikipedia this or Google this, whatever you kids do. It was $14.95. It then got raised to $19.95. December of that year. I think that was the second or third In Your House at that point. But it was $14.95 at one point, guys. Now you look at a full pay-per-view, and you're looking at $60, $59.95, something like that, $59.99. But they used to be, the In Your Houses anyway, $15. Unreal. Anyway, that's probably going to be your Raw tonight. Diesel and Sid, a replay of the 2015 Royal Rumble, another replay of Charlotte and Asuka at WrestleMania 34, Charlotte promo, Becky promo, Heyman and Lesnar promo. Hey, we're having some fun here, right? We're joking around that that's going to be the card, but don't get it twisted. You're probably going to see a shitload of promos and a bunch of fucking replays. I would not doubt it. Before I get to the main story again, Triple H talking about Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes has teased an announcement for Wednesday. He's saying, and this is a quote from Cody, something you've been clamoring for, meaning the fans. We've been clamoring for it. Well, I can't think of anything but a mid-card championship. That would be pretty badass. Is that what he's talking about? What do you guys think it could be? Because I'm trying to rack my brain around it. I don't know what else it could honestly be that he could just dish out this Wednesday in an announcement. We've already had a couple of debuts. AEW's doing pretty solid consistently week to week. They don't need to change anything up, really. I think a mid-card championship would drastically help guys like Luchasaurus or a Darby Allin. Even an Orange Cassidy, if he pulls his hand out of his pocket once in a while. A mid-card title would definitely help, man. Then you get guys like Pac, who I don't think that company truly sees main event status, but somebody like Pac could definitely make that mid-card something beyond relevant. So maybe that's what he's talking about. I know this week we saw the AAA Mega Championship being defended. Maybe that opened their eyes like, hey, this is something we need. It remains to be seen. You guys let me know what you guys think it could be. But Cody is teasing this big announcement, something we've been clamoring for me, for AEW. It's been a mid-card championship. I think that would help them out drastically. We'll see. Now, topic at hand. Triple H recently did this interview with ESPN, literally within the last 12 hours of the filming of this. And you guys know, as I aforementioned at the top of this vid, Roman Reigns, we hear, is taken out. WWE is going on as business as usual this past Friday, promoting the match even more so. Which is it? Is Vince fucking with us? Is Roman actually in this thing? And this is just supposed to be like, wow, he wasn't supposed to be in it. Now he is? What a true champion? Well, this is what Triple H says. And this pretty much confirms that Roman is out. If you really get down to the nuts and bolts of what he is saying, you really have to dissect his words. But this is pretty much clear as day to yours truly. And I'll give you his quote, and you guys let me know what you think. Triple H says this when asked about Roman Reigns. There are various talents, and I don't want to get into the specifics of WrestleMania because that's a must-see event. We don't like to take precautions with our talent any more so than we need to. And all of our talents are in this in a voluntary capacity. If they don't want to be a part of this, or they feel there's a risk, for whatever reason, be it themselves or somebody around them, they don't have to be here. Nothing is held against them for that. Same with our crew and everybody else. We don't want to take chances on that. With Roman having a pre-existing condition that would make him more susceptible to something, it's understandable. We've had a few talent that had issues or chose not to be here, but we are where we're at. End quote. So without trying to give too much, you could easily dissect the details, right? The details are in the devil themselves. They're in the words. He could have easily denied this and said, oh, no, you know how the internet is, man. That's false. Roman's going to be there. Right? And wait till the angle this Friday that's going to write Roman off of WrestleMania. Again, that's what we believe. But no, Triple H is being full honest here. When asked about the Roman situation, he came out and said again, and I quote, "We don't want to take chances on that. With Roman having a pre-existing condition that would make him more susceptible to something, it's understandable." So he didn't deny the reports. He's saying it's understandable that this has happened. That pretty much confirms right there, guys, that no matter what WWE is still promoting, Roman's out. Triple H just said that in a roundabout way. But if you really read this or hear this quote, it's pretty direct. He didn't deny shit. He said it's understandable. And he even called Roman by name and said he's got a pre-existing condition. It's understandable. The way he said it at first was a little drastic, right? A little harsh. He said if they don't want to be a part of this, or they feel there's a risk for whatever reason, be it themselves or somebody around them, they don't have to be here. That was pretty direct and sounds harsh. But I don't think he meant it to be that harsh, But Triple H is old school, and I mean, this guy wrestled with, at one point, 2 fucking blown quads, right? Almost like Vince McMahon. One wasn't as severe, though, so it was only labeled as 1 blown quad. But he wrestled on that shit. And then you got Vince McMahon, who tried to get into the ring one day. It was at SummerSlam, I believe. He tried to get into the ring, and he blew both his quads out. And Vince McMahon tried to walk the next day. They had to sit him down. They had to literally hold him down in the wheelchair. So these are old school mentality, guys. The world literally has to be ending for them to miss a show or miss something. With these newer guys, they're smarter, right? They're taking care of themselves and their family more. That's good. But with the old school mentality, Triple H is not one of those guys to miss something, especially something like WrestleMania. So I think his words sometimes are going to sound a little harsher, but he doesn't necessarily mean it like that. But when I first heard that, if they don't want to be a part of this, then they don't have to be here. That was Triple H's exact words. But then he did mention that Roman, he has that pre-fucking existing condition, I can speak. So he not only could he be doing harm to himself, but other people, So I don't know, but that's huge. That puts this whole thing to bed, to rest. Because everybody was confused when WWE was still promoting this match. Now Triple H is saying, hey, Roman absolutely, he's doing what he's got to do. Our talent can absolutely pull out if they want to, or if we don't think it's a right fit, or they shouldn't be here, we can tell them to go home. He's pretty much saying that the Roman situation, and he said, his last quote, guys, we've had a few talent that had issues or chose not to be here. That confirms Rey Mysterio, Dana Brooke, Andrade, Bobby Lashley, and there's a few more too. I think Miz was on this list now. I mean, this thing is ever evolving. And Triple H pretty much confirmed all of that. So that's real telling, guys. That is huge. And we can put that to bed finally. It doesn't look like Roman Reigns was some martyr, right? He stood up for... There was some rumors that Roman Reigns stood up for the locker room. And I'm like, what are you guys... Where's the proof on that? The hell are you talking about? Roman Reigns is Vince's golden child. If Vince says jump, Roman says how high. Not as high as Miz. Miz is really the whipping boy of Vince McMahon. Miz will do anything for Vince. Roman at least will stand his ground on things. But he's not going to turn his back on WWE and Vince McMahon more specifically to rise up for the locker room. No. To claim you're a locker room leader is one thing, that's awesome. But you hear Triple H in that interview in a separate segment, Triple H was talking about everyone that's showing up is actually in good spirits. They're all laughing and joking around and trying to make the best out of it. Nobody is in that building not wanting to be there. H is literally saying he's having these conversations and they're just rolling off ideas with one another. So some of these reports, and we know how the WWE locker room is, trust me. Normally, I would not question these reports one bit. But this sounds to me like a team is coming together and they're just trying to fucking put on the best possible product and see how much they can keep this ship from sinking. Because we're all expecting this thing this weekend. Saturday and Sunday, right? This is officially WrestleMania week. This weekend is a 2-night WrestleMania event, supposedly. We're all expecting this ship to sink drastically, to the lengths that we're not even going to be able to find the ship ever again. Can WWE keep it afloat? Dude's saying, if you don't want to be here, go home, man. He said, now I know that, hey man, I don't put too much stock into this, but he did say, and I quote, let me see if I can find it. If they don't want to be here, be a part of this, nothing is held against them for that. He said, so what he's saying, what he means by that, guys, is if they go home, or if they choose to go home, or if they have something that happened and they can't be here, nothing is going to be held against them for that. What he's saying is there's going to be no punishment. That's BS, though, because we've seen punishment in the past through Vince McMahon. But maybe these times have opened their eyes a little bit. Maybe these circumstances are a little different. Who knows? Time will tell. But he did say, I thought that was interesting in this quote. He said nothing is held against them for that. We'll see. But I just, some reports that Roman stuck up for the locker room and went home. Well, buddy, I can tell you right now those reports are false. Look at all the people that showed up. That's one bad leader if he stood up for the locker room and said we don't want to do this and he went home and you got about another 40 guys showing up. There's 16 matches on this card, guys. There's 15 or 16 matches. No shit. You're telling me the leader went home. You're telling me Tom Brady left the fucking game or Aaron Rodgers left the game and the rest of the team stood out there. They're looking at Rodgers. They're like, what a joke. Tom Brady left and they're like, what a fucking clown. When he was with the Patriots. Right? He leaves the field in protest and all the other fucking, the players are like, I ain't going anywhere. That means you're a bad leader. So what do you mean he stuck up for the light? He didn't stick up for shit. I questioned from the beginning, not because of the health thing. We already know that's the main reason he's doing this. I don't think there's any question in that part, right? We know what he battled in the past. Obviously, he's one of the at-risk type of people for this. What we're all questioning is, why was it so last minute? This dude didn't have this information 2 weeks ago? A month ago, really, but most of the United States really woke up a few weeks ago and said, wow, this is way more serious than we originally had thought. He didn't know this 2 weeks or a week a fucking ago? when he showed up the Friday SmackDown? And he was doing all that promotional work this past week, after performing. Nobody said, hey man, this is probably not the best. And then the morning of his taping, it was the morning of his match that it was supposed to be taped, he decided, oh no, I can't go in for 2 minutes. Please, you could have had that in a parking lot. It's a 2-minute match anyway. It's against Bill Goldberg. It ain't gonna be 10 minutes. You could have had that. You didn't even have to go in the PC. You could only deal with Bill Goldberg. Wear a fucking mask if you gotta while doing it. You're telling me you literally X-nayed yourself out of the match last minute? Where the fuck was this concern a week ago? That's what I can't stand. And you have Roman fans that are just going along with every little thing he does and not thinking for themselves. Right? When Roman pulled out, no Roman Reigns diehard fan wanted to question it. They just want to say, what do you mean? It's for health reasons. Why is anybody even talking about this? It should be a no-brainer. But when he was about to have this match, right up until the day of taping, Roman Reigns fans were all about it. Yeah, go Roman! Win the championship, man! You're a true champion and an inspiration. And then he pulls out, literally, within minutes. That's the right decision, Roman, yeah. Health comes first, Roman. Why is anybody even questioning this? It's his health, damn it! How cruel are people? This is his health on the line. Do you know what he battled in his past? Well, where the hell was that concern for him last week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago? You waited until he actually pulled out to jump on the bandwagon? And what if this was a swerve, right? It's not. He's definitely out. But what if it was? And he shows up. I bet you those same diehard Roman Reigns fans would be going, wow, what a true inspiration. He's my champion and hero. He showed up through adversity. But I thought you were just saying the best thing for him is to stay home. He should be nowhere near this. His health comes first. Now all of a sudden he's a true champion in it. Which is it? If the guy jumps off a bridge, you're going to say that was a smart idea. If he eats 25 packages of Oreo cookies, you're going to say it's a good idea. If he eats nothing but salad, you're going to think it's healthy and the best idea. Pull your head out of your ass, stop being a sheep, and think for yourself. If this is truly about his health, why wasn't this decision made weeks ago? PC, new information came up, man. People started dropping like flies at the PC. Rey Mysterio, we heard something about The Miz being under the weather, and Roman didn't want to take the last minute chance. Well, that's what I mean. You didn't think this was serious 2 weeks ago, and you are a WWE superstar, and you didn't have the information that any common folk around the world knew? You didn't see what was going around the world? You honestly don't watch the news? Nobody was in your ear telling you probably shouldn't show up for weeks? You waited till people in the locker room started dropping? What was the plan? You win the championship and then you go away for a couple of months? Probably. That's how this company runs. That's how Lesnar ran it. That's how Becky Lynch, she didn't have to defend her championship for months. She was so overprotected, you didn't even see her for a fucking month straight, basically. So Roman gets it, and then he goes home and takes care of himself for a couple months and holds that title hostage, just like Brock is holding the other one hostage. I get it. I see the plan. That's what we're really questioning. Why was this so last minute? Just because people started to get sick? You didn't think this was possible weeks ago? Or you were just too stupid to think that this was serious? And you waited till the day of. Please. And on top of that, you have, as I said, everybody else that dropped like flies too, that's going to change up their matches. There's supposed to be a tag team title defense, ladder match. It looks like Miz is now under the weather. Now we're hearing that could be a one-on-one match. Morrison versus, I don't fucking know. One and one of each team, maybe. Or no, somebody's replacing Morrison, right? I don't even know what's going on. Bobby Lashley and Rusev were supposed to have a match, or I'm sorry, Bobby Lashley and somebody. I don't even fucking know anymore. But Lashley looks to be under the weather. Dana Brooks' six-pack challenge for the title. SmackDown Women's Championship. That's altered because she can't show up. Now it's a five-pack challenge or Fatal Five, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Rey Mysterio was supposed to take on Andre the Giant. Andrade for the U.S. Championship. That match is nixed. Rey Mysterio cannot show up. Andrade now, as well we're hearing, is banged up or under the weather. So both of them are taken out. I mean, this whole WrestleMania card is so fucking bonkers, I can't even keep up with it anymore. But this weekend, they're putting on a double show, Saturday and Sunday. As I told you guys, Bray Wyatt and John Cena was filmed in a factory abandoned warehouse. It's going to be a Firefly Funhouse match, so that's going to be out of the PC. They're also going to do the Edge Randy Orton match. From what I'm hearing, most of it is going to be out of the ring as well, possibly out of the PC. So we'll have to see that as well. And 1 or 2 more matches as well is supposed to be filmed on another location. So we'll see. One of those we expect it to be the AJ Styles Undertaker Boneyard match. They couldn't call it Graveyard because of what's going on in the world. They didn't feel that was smart to do. So they called it a Boneyard match. But we do believe it to be now, with more details emerging, that it's supposed to be something like a cemetery type setting. So that's another match that's going to be on location. So you know how overly produced WWE does things. Those type of things could be actually pretty good. It reminds me of the Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy Ultimate Deletion type thing that they put on for WWE. Or should I say broken Matt Hardy's gimmick in TNA Impact. More of that type of shit. I'm good with it. You know what I mean? Just do it correctly. But I think that's a smart decision. If you're putting together 16 matches, you better have a handful of them that are not in that ring in front of nobody. Because that is not going to excite anybody. And the outcomes, like Drew McIntyre winning a championship, that's going to be drastically sad and depressing. McIntyre is trying to tell fans to film and record their reaction to him winning the championship this weekend. And post it up on YouTube. But how the hell can anybody at home really be that excited when it's something we already pretty much know is going to happen? And B, it's in front of nobody. Are you really going to be jumping out of your chair? That is going to be the most unauthentic reactions that you're going to see on YouTube. They're going to have to let you know, they're going to film themselves 10 times jumping out of their seats to Drew McIntyre winning the championship. Anyway, guys, that's what I got for you. I can go another fucking hour about how fucking odd this WrestleMania is. And I know, sit back, relax, and enjoy it, BC. At least they're putting on a show. They're trying to make you smile. I believe it would be better if they just postpone the son of a bitch. Cancel it as a whole. I don't care what you have to do. This is no way to put on a WrestleMania. If it ends up being tremendous, I will absolutely take back everything I said in the good, the bad, and the ugly review video the next morning. I will absolutely take back all of my words and say I was wrong. That was an awesome WrestleMania. I want to say that. And by the way, in case you're wondering, yes, there will be 2 the good, the bad, and the ugly reviews this weekend. Sunday morning will be night 1 of WrestleMania, which is Saturday night. Sunday morning, I will have the good, the bad, and the ugly of night number 1. And then Monday morning, I will have night number 2 of WrestleMania, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I know that's a lot of info. I'm going to let you guys go and do your business today, or go and do your quarantining. Go be isolated doing what you do. I'm glad we were able to talk some pro wrestling, get our minds off of shit for a little bit. And I will see you guys in the morning, of course, for the Raw review and reaction. Think, be, live, amplified. Check you later.